discomfort of this. It is not fun. Most people do not enjoy having that talk. Most people just want to get it done and get to work. This is when I want you to have that debate. And here's why. Because a year from now, after you get hired, 2 years from now after you get hired, you're going to be hoping for a raise. You, per capita, get a lot more money at the beginning of the relationship than you do at the check-in. So if you're looking for a $5,000 increase, you're more likely to get that at the beginning negotiation than a year in. You're usually going to get a percentage increase a year in, or a raise increase is never as much as a role change or the beginning negotiation. So let's say you're trying to get $5,000 on top of the offer. Ask yourself, am I more likely to get them to raise my salary $5,000 in a year, or can I negotiate that now? My argument is do it now, because I think that when you look on balance at the statistics, you're more likely to get $5,000 added to your salary in the beginning than you are a year from now. It's just more likely. Usually you get a percentage of that.
Well, a lot of that has to do also with where you're at currently,
yes,
financially and with job security. I mean,
right.
if you've already got a good job and you're just looking at switching over to another company,
right.
well, you've got a lot of negotiating power. That's because right. You can always stay where you're at.
Yes, always appear strong. Like if they ask you, what are you doing right now? And the answer is unemployed, find a way to massage that. That way you can say it differently. Like, oh, I've been doing some contracting work, or I've been doing, I have a side business that I've been working on, or some personal projects I've been doing. Find a way to kind of massage it. Because you're right, Nick. If you come in and say, no, nobody else wants me, will you give me top dollar? No, they won't. They know how supply and demand works. So.
Right.
But, that I think is my two methods for how I would tackle the salary thing. Be polite about it. Be professional about it. The stupidest thing you could ever do is be disrespectful during that time, or appear offended, or, seem dumb. That's how you turn somebody off, because it's awkward for both of you. Neither of you is looking forward to that part of the conversation. They want to know if they can afford your services within a reasonable way to run their company. You want to know if you can afford to live while working here.
Right. Respect is always key, because people talk within the industry.
Yes.
And the next place that you go to apply, if you left the last place disrespectfully, it's not uncommon that I get a phone call from
right.
one of my cohorts at another agency, and they will say, hey, do you know so-and-so? They just applied for a job.
And you have to kind of choose your words.
You got to be very careful.
You might grimace, legally, and they're like, oh, you don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Like, I can kind of read your face, and
right.
I'm not feeling this. But anyway, hey man, you're going to make it. The most important thing is to get out there and mix it up. And the biggest thing I've seen people do that's the biggest mistake is the fear of failure. Apply for everything, but take your time. Do it the right way. Don't just smash the apply button on websites. Get the Indeed app. I think that's my favorite one. I think it's a really good one. But don't just spam everybody. Always tailor, custom make a cover letter, and do your best for each one, but don't be afraid to try.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, should you wear your wedding ring? This should be fun. You're listening to Pod Therapy. Hey TheraPals, have you purchased your tickets to ScoopFest 2018 yet? Our friends Matt, Paul, and Jacob are working hard putting together their third annual weekend-long comedy and podcast festival in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, October 12th through the 14th. Enjoy live comedy, variety shows, the Scoop Talent Show, the Jock vs. Nerd Costume Ball, and much, much more, including live recordings of Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, Pod Therapy, Penn Sunday School, the Piff Pod, and a whole bunch of other, I'm sure, your favorite podcasts. And guess what? Our listeners get $40 off their ticket price. Just go to heyscoops.com/therapy.
We're back. You're listening to Pod Therapy, and our next listener writes in asking whether it's okay that his wife is not wearing her wedding ring. I'm upset my wife won't wear her wedding ring. I spent months saving money to get her a ring which was custom made. I made sure that it was something she wanted and something she would be proud of. I got it costume made up in New York, perfect for her in every way. I hijacked her Pinterest account, which she forgave me for. She said previously that she only wanted a single ring, like engagement ring, and not a wedding ring through our whole relationship. It turns out that she actually wanted a wedding ring, though. No big deal. It didn't fit her engagement ring initially, but we got it worked on and now it fits. More money, but well worth it. It's what she wanted. Fast forward 4 months after the wedding. She never wears her ring, and hasn't even changed her last name. I bring it up, and she shrugs it off as this or that. Says she's too busy, which she's not. It came to a bust tonight when we were out with one of her girlfriends, and her girlfriend called her out and says that she never wears her wedding ring. It made me feel like crap. Here I am wearing mine, caring about it, and she's not meeting me halfway, especially in front of everyone, our friends. It's symbolic, and even though it doesn't mean everything, it's only a ring, it still makes me feel like she's not putting in the effort. She wanted all of this and doesn't even try. And it just feels like I picked out my ring and I bought it myself. She didn't try, and she's not a part of this. I take mine off for a night and she calls me out on it. Apparently it's important to her that I wear mine, but it's not important that she wear hers. I confronted her now, and she says that she's just going to start wearing it. But now it feels forced. I want it to be something she wants to wear, but now it's there because I want it, which doesn't feel the same. It's such a stupid reason to be mad, but it's upsetting to me, and she's making it feel like I can't be upset about this. It's a small fight, but it makes me feel really weird and terrible. Am I over-exaggerating the circumstance, or do I have something to be upset about? What should I do?
Yes. I think to all of that. I mean, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't necessarily say it's over-exaggerating the circumstance, but I think this is a great point to something that I say all the time, which is that it's not the event that causes an emotional reaction. It's the meaning behind the event. Right. It's what it means to us. And this is very important because things mean different things to different people, right? So something may be very symbolic to me, and maybe it was my culture or the way I was raised, but something is very important to me, and I just assume that it has the same level of importance and significance to everybody else. Right. So then when I see somebody else not doing this, then to me, it's, well, that's disrespectful. That's rude. How can that, how do they not? Yeah. How do they not? Yeah. And then it leads to my discomfort and my emotions, my feelings, whereas that person is probably doesn't really think twice about it. Right. Now, that being said, the writer writes in about, well, when I don't wear mine, it's a big deal to her. Yeah. So that is a little bit different. So that's not necessarily just a difference in what something means. There seems to be a lot more going on behind the scenes. This seems to be like this is more than just a ring. Yeah, I think that's probably true. Here's another thought to that, though. So what I read in this is she has an engagement ring, and then we've additionally added a wedding ring. And I know some women will get those two fused together, and so that they're a matching set, right? And then it's kind of a double ring. And then for some women, they have their engagement ring, and then they put on their wedding ring, they take off their engagement ring, or they wear both. What's interesting about this, he doesn't probably have an engagement ring. He probably only has his wedding ring. So if he doesn't wear it, that's it. He has a naked finger on his left hand. For her, I'm reading that she does wear the engagement ring, but not the really nice wedding ring that they got made together. So I don't think that she's flagging, I'm single, I'm available, I'm ready to party. I think that he's like, why aren't you wearing your wedding ring, which is really nice. We spent money on it. It matters. And you also haven't changed your last name, and your friends are kind of giving you crap and saying, why don't you wear your really nice ring that this dude took the time and got for you and like really put his heart into? Why aren't you wearing it? So I suspect, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I suspect that she does have a ring. And again, I only know this because, I'm really into like wedding magazines and wedding planning. But, we know. Yeah. We know. But I think that that's the case. I think women tend to have like two rings. Well, yeah, that's typically the case. And in most cases that I'm aware of, they fuse them together. Yeah. Here we are, two heterosexual white males talking about this issue, talking about wedding rings. Hey, speak for yourself, dude. I'm killing it. Okay, I got it right. But that's a good point. Okay, so I didn't interpret it that way. I thought she was wearing no ring at all. I think she has an engagement ring. Well, but the not changing the last name thing, if that's good for your if you guys agree that you want to do that, because I know some couples don't do that anymore, but if that's something you both agree is meaningful and that's what you're going to do, and you're not doing it, that's curious. Okay, so here's something I'd like to do. Let's take that name thing and let's put that on the back burner for a minute. Okay. So let's just focus on the rings. If it's the rings, if it's the case where she's wearing the engagement ring, right, but not wearing the wedding band, I guess as I read this, that's what she wanted all along. Yeah. So if the message was clear from the very beginning, hey, I only want one ring.
Yeah.
And then through pressure, she was forced into, no, let's get a wedding band and we'll put that on there too.
Yeah.
Then I understand why she might be taking it off, because that's not what she wanted from the very beginning. She was pretty clear that this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
And it's hard when we only have a limited amount of information, but if that's the case, I almost kind of take her side on that, in the sense that, well, if she was clear about this from the very get-go.
It's funny because I actually really resonate with the guy on this one. And so here's like why I'm kind of with him. I'm on Team Dude, which is probably predictable. But okay, so when I married my wife, I was 19 or 20 when I proposed. I had no money, okay? So I got her first ring at the cheapest possible place you could ever get, and it was really, really bad.
Was it a Canardly diamond?
I'm not sure, but it was cubic zirconia.
No, because you can hardly see it.
It's like a Hertz donut.
Yeah.
That's a nice Iowa joke there.
Yeah.
So, no, it was turning her finger green. Okay, so it was not a good ring. Yeah. So that was our engagement ring. Now, she had a family heirloom ring that was really important to her family, and that was going to be the wedding ring, and there was no way around it. Like, that was passed down 5 generations. That was the wedding ring. So we didn't have to think about that. So when we get married, we pick out my wedding ring. I have a matching one to her heirloom ring. So I have mine, and she has her heirloom ring. She takes off the engagement ring. Well, it kind of always bothered me because the engagement ring was like nice, and like this is her family heirloom ring. It doesn't seem to resonate like that's like I put it there, like it's mine. And I realize that's very caveman, you know, like it's not like she's my property, but it was like, well, this isn't symbolic of me. It's symbolic of your family. Like my ring is symbolic of you. You gave it to me, you know, and I wear it. And so it always bothered me, right? So fast forward, our 10th anniversary, I have money. Now I can afford to get her something really nice. And so, kind of like this guy, I went and I took the time. Like, I studied what she was into. I figured it out. I, got her all the little background details, saved up a pile of money. And for our 10th anniversary, I surprised her with this very beautiful, basically wedding ring, like engagement ring. It's worthy of that status, right? And it pairs well with her heirloom ring, all this other stuff. And here's the ring that I always thought you were worthy of, but I didn't have the money to give you. And it was this beautiful, touching moment, because she never threw away the engagement ring that turned her finger green, but you don't wear it. So I get it to her, and she's like, oh my God, it's beautiful, hems and haws over it, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, like a week and a half later, man, I've never seen that ring since. Like, it really bothers me, because I'm like, dude, I spent so much time on this and money on this, and it's symbolic. And like, I've talked to her about it. And her answer is, listen, dude, like day to day, your jewelry has to be functional. It's your day to day. Like we have kids, I'm just in a hot car and all this other stuff and like putting my hand through my hair. I don't want a ring that has diamonds on it or whatever. Like it's just not my jam. And it's frustrating because it's like, I totally get that. And if like somebody bought me a watch that was uncomfortable to wear, no matter how expensive that watch was, I'm not going to wear it. I'll wear it to nice occasions, but not, day to day. And that's how she is with the wedding ring. And I'm really frustrated because I'm like, it's in a different league. Like, and I kind of agree with this guy. I feel like it's not regular jewelry. It's not just here's a anytime gift kind of jewelry. It's symbolic jewelry. And they're at the beginning of their marriage. And it's kind of like, hey, something needs to symbolically be me with you. And like, you haven't taken my name. You're not wearing my ring. I took the time to get you a nice one. What is the deal? And so, like, I don't know. I kind of agree with the guy on this. Like, I'm not saying that she's wrong, but I'm saying I empathize with his human struggle of, like, what's going on here? Am I making a big deal out of this? And I guess my advice to the writer is, yeah, you probably are. And I certainly know I did. Like, I made too big of a deal out of it. At the end of the day, jewelry, no matter how symbolic it is, it just has to be functional. And, if she's not going to wear it because it's not functional for her wardrobe or it's not comfortable or whatever, then that's what it is, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, maybe there's more reasons to this that I'm not reading, but I think that any other piece of jewelry, you don't wonder what the reason is that they're not wearing it. But it's a wedding ring. It matters.
Yes.
It has symbolism.
Yes. Yes, it does have symbolism, but I don't know. I still don't quite, even in your example, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to side with Janelle. Damn it. Like, I think it's great. It's wonderful that you put in all the research that you didn't. I think it's great when people don't ask. Like,
Sure.
One of my biggest pet peeves is when people ask me, what do you want for Christmas?
Right.
Like, no, that's not what it's about.